TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Majora T Cast Revived. I got a very special T with me today, Mr.
It's me.
T Urbozone. What's up, Alex?
Hey, glad to be here. I'm pretty new to podcasts, so hope nervous. Hope I can do it well.
Listen, you're doing great, and I'm happy to accommodate you all the way. Who are we kidding? We've done like 30 freaking compilations, just you and me, that aren't Button Mappers affiliated even. So.
And then we birthed the baby that is the Button Mappers.
That's true. Two proud dads.
Two dads. We added a third dad later, but he's more like a stepdad.
Yeah. Just as much dadmanship, you know? We birthed the community. Yeah. I'm so proud.
Full of dads.
True. Well, we here at the Majora T Cast like to just get into it. Sip our tea. I don't have my tea. I have coffee. We did like 3 freaking episodes today.
This is like part of what tea is, right? It's water.
It is part. It's part of coffee. I have some water.
Yeah.
I have sunglasses.
Is there water in the sunglasses?
Maybe. I am not a chemist, so I couldn't tell you.
That's the question of the day, right? Is how hard do you have to squeeze those sunglasses before you can get the water out?
Yeah, that's a life or death question. You got to know the answer. In a desert, in Arizona, one pair of glasses.
In Arizona.
All right, so I just want to kick off with Alex. How are you?
Yes, I'm here. I exist.
I'm
good, man. How are you?
Swell. Nice to be doing an episode for the channel. I'm happy to bring back the Majora T Cast to bring you on, the homie. We're part of the origin story.
Hold on, let me turn my fucking... Somebody's trying to call me? Why? Sorry. my phone's just going off like crazy right now. There we go. That should do it. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, I asked you to prepare a segment. I also prepared a segment. Together, it makes Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, aka the Turbo Throwdown series we've been doing.
But, I thought you were going to say a sandwich.
A Turbo Throwdown sandwich. No, we're not doing that today. But we are going to throw down a couple segments today. Couple tea time segments. So, Alex, go ahead, bring the tea to the table. What have you got for us?
That would be a fun thing to do. It's like a covert Turbo Throwdown where we just like sneak it into a different show.
You thought you were here for a Majora T Cast. You were wrong.
Turbo Throwdown.
Turbo Throwdown.
So I've been on a few of your podcasts now on your channel, and I was looking back the other day, and I noticed, I think it was Returns when you brought that back. I'm not sure which one it was, but we talked about a topic on one of the episodes that was making the switch, and I didn't listen back to the episode because I didn't want my past views to influence my current views, but we talked about making the switch, buying Nintendo Switches, playing the Switch, our thoughts on the Switch at the time. And I believe the standpoint at the time was more like we came from not being interested in the Switch to being very interested in the Switch. And things have changed now. The time has changed, time has gone by, and the Switch, I'm just interested to talk about our perspectives on the Switch now. As the Switch is like kind of has one foot in the grave. We know there's something coming. They're gonna have to announce something within the next couple of years at least. So, and now we have like other like PC handhelds like the Steam Deck and other things like that are more powerful than the Switch. So yeah, I just want to talk about our current thoughts on the Switch and kind of reflect, and it'll be a nice piece to go along with the old episode we did.
And that old episode is like 20 minutes, so viewers at home, if you do want to hear the comparison point, I did just listen back to it quickly while doing some dishes. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Maybe you can tell me, well, whenever I'm talking about my points, if like anything has changed, because I made it a point not to listen to myself.
Okay.
So yeah, so 2023, Teddy. I guess I want to ask you what is the Switch to you?
The Switch is one of two modern consoles that I feel like I need to have.
Okay.
I didn't always feel that way. I kind of was jaded against the Switch, and I think a lot of my concerns were true at the time, and they still are today. I made a whole video about reasons why the Switch is overrated. I do think it's overrated. Although I do think that some of the hype has waned, but I still think that there are a lot of like Switch centric channels out there that their whole character is just the console, and it feels like people just lean into it because they know it's popular. That's how I feel when I see stuff like that. I don't feel like I've seen that as much lately. I feel like I've been able to overlook a lot of that, and I found a lot of unique experiences and some reasons that I do feel it's great having that console to play multiplayer, to bring with you. I don't love it as a portable system. I still prefer my 3DS, but like I just went on a vacation to Boston the other weekend, and of course I packed my Switch. We couldn't even hook it up to the TV, but I flipped the little kickstand and we used some Joy-Cons, and I think I was playing some Rystar for the next Turbo Throwdown. So, I mean, I really like it as a console of access. And then it does have access library-wise to a ton of games, and yes, they are multi-platform, but sometimes I just want the luxury of being able to play it on the TV, off the TV, with a Pro controller, with Joy-Cons, with the SNES controller, with the GameCube adapter. So I feel like a Switch is a console of options. And like Garth Brooks, well, I like that.
Depending on when this goes up, no one's gonna know what the hell you're talking about.
They won't.
Yeah, it's like the Switch has got two things that appeal to me, but it's interesting to look back on them now. It's the, like you sort of said, the accessibility of the console. Also, the library of the console I think is interesting. But now we're getting to a point to where those two aspects of the console aren't as novel anymore. We are getting things like the Steam Deck and other PC handhelds that are more powerful consoles that you can take with you that have access to thousands, billions of games on Steam and whatever other PC platforms. So it is interesting to look back and be like, yeah, I loved the Switch for the things that it could do before these other things could also do that. So, sort of like led the way, I guess, in terms of that. Yeah, I mean, it was a console that I could play handheld, that I could play on the TV, that I could play with a Pro controller, that had anything between like the brand new Pikmin 4 I've been playing. I have like all of my No More Heroes games are on the fucking Switch. I can go back and download old Sega games. I can, play the Arcade Archive, stream whatever Nintendo's got on their shitty ass service, and yeah, there's just a ton of stuff to play. RPGs galore on that thing. It seems like every fucking week they're like, this RPG is also coming to Switch. We're gonna remake whatever, Live a Live, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Yeah, it's I feel like the novelty is worn off for me, but I still appreciate it,
Yeah, I think at a certain time and point in the past 7, 8 years, 2017, was that 7 years? In the past 7 years, it was the zenith of the modern consoles, where basically I think that the Xbox and the PS4 wanted that same hype. The PS4 at the time of the launch was maybe winning that race, but I think Switch superseded it. I think it's approaching PS2 levels of sales. So it will be the most sold console?
Yeah, I think it was. I was listening to a Kit and Chris episode recently, and they were talking about that, and I think it would need to sell into like 3 more years to reach that point, to reach PS2. But it's close though. It's getting there.
And PS2 had had the longest lifespan, from what I understand. It was like 12 years or something. So,
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Ratio-wise, maybe Switch has got it already.
Do you still prioritize playing on Switch? Like, is that like whenever you think about like, oh, this game's coming out? Say it's not like a fucking Nintendo game, because obviously that's on Switch. But say you're like, oh, I might buy this game when it comes out, or I might. Do you prioritize Switch or other consoles right now?
Right now, I prioritize Xbox Series S, simply for just frame rate, and also that it's just easy. It's just easy to just and hard drive space. I don't think the Switch has nearly. You can't get 2 terabytes, easily. You could have like 4 micro SD cards.
You could buy a micro. You could buy a huge micro SD card. That's going to cost you a little bit.
Right. So that's the thing. And then on the other platforms, generally the rule of thumb is still that over time the other platform versions will be cheaper.
Okay.
And I really like the Xbox controller. I think it's great for either 2D or 3D games. I like the D-pad.
Oh my god. Me too. Mine's right here. Me too, man. I use this thing on everything that I can. It's like we're I don't want to say what it is because I don't know when it's coming out, but we're doing a game for a map out, and I started it on PS4, and then I restarted it on Steam just so I could use this controller.
It's the right move.
Just because I was like, no, I'm not using the PS4 controller.
For sure.
But yeah, it's I think in terms of like Nintendo consoles within the last few generations, I think its novelties are still admirable. You look at the novelties of like the Wii or like the Wii U, and its novelties seem archaic, and a lot of them you don't want to return to. You don't want to return to swinging the Wiimote around or using the fucking gamepad separately. But I don't think the novelty of having like a home console that's portable will ever get old.
I agree with that. And it's not even so much that I love it as a portable unit. I don't. As a handheld, I should say. As a handheld, I don't love it. But I do love that basically it is modern gaming on the go. I don't like the 3DS for as much as I love it as a handheld. It isn't. It's a Nintendo and, some second party gaming on the go. But it can't compete with even PS3 or Xbox 360 style level of games.
Yeah. It is interesting. I think I don't mind playing the Switch portably, to be honest. It's not terrible. The portability factor is annoying. Like anything, like even like I'm getting a Steam Deck soon, and that one's also the same. It's like anything that I have to like put in a carrying case and then throw into a bag. Is that really portable? It's like I gotta like do this whole process to take it with me. I have my 3DS right here. I can just put this in my pocket and I'm ready to go. But still, I do appreciate the portable nature. It's helped me like overcome certain games, especially games that like I really needed to like grind out or sit down and focus on, and being able to like have that with me anywhere or like play while I'm watching some TV show or something. It's handy dandy. And it's a feature that I really liked. I don't know. It's just interesting to think about like the fact that there was a point where there were like a lot more of those channels that were like, we're the Switch guys, and we talk about, is this port on the Switch any good? How is it running this port? And then like now it seems like nobody really cares that much about that stuff. I think they just did like a Red Dead Redemption port on Switch, and everyone's just like, yeah, I mean, sure, it can. We know that.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. I knew when I played Witcher 3 on Switch that, yeah, there are better versions. But at the time, that's what I needed. So, I appreciate it for that.
jumping off. So I guess I have a couple questions to like wrap us out, to wrap us out, to wrap us up, and lead us out of this conversation. Here is two questions. For one, this is a shorter one. Are you interested in like any other platforms like that, like Steam Deck, that have like console gaming on the go? Is that something you want to pursue?
No. I don't even know what my interest in future generations of consoles is.
Okay.
PS5, I don't need it. You know, where's Xbox going now? To your brain?
Directly to the brain.
Insert your microchip into the left earlobe.
Game Pass chip in your brain.
You could put both thumbsticks in your nostrils.
My other question was, okay, so moving forward, because we know something, they haven't announced anything. We know something has to happen with Nintendo soon. They can't just ride out the Switch forever. You know, it's getting to a point to where it's not going to be viable. Do you want to see like just another Switch, or do you want to see them go back to home consoles? What would you like to see Nintendo do in the next generation?
I always have a hard time answering this because I don't have a vision for what future consoles could even look like. I think the direction for Nintendo recently, well, if I look at their track record, the most interesting things that they've done are probably like Nintendo Directs, the Super Nintendo World, the Mario movie. These are like the most innovative things I think they've done in a while, and specifically with Directs. And so I don't even know. Like, I feel like Nintendo games maybe are more interesting to us than they are to kids nowadays. To like our generation. And that's weird to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I see a lot more kids talking about like, fucking Fortnite and stuff than Pokemon or Mario.
Fall Guys. Yeah, Minecraft.
Yeah, Fall Guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Nintendo will retire. I just don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know like what a future Nintendo console would look like. I don't know what they need to do or what they can do. Can they even do their first party stuff better than they've already done it? You know, some of the games in question from this Switch generation make me question that. We've played a lot of them. You know, we played the Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Would I say that's better than Return to Dreamland? You know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate are the ultimate in each respective game. What's left? I don't know.
I think it would be stupid of them to abandon the Switch. To not do like another Switch that can play the old games, kind of like a 3DS. It'd be stupid for them not to do like a 3D Switch that can play the Switch games, but has its own things and enhancements. But at the same time, I don't know how much of an interest would be there if it's just like, here's the Switch too, and it's just like, I guess it runs better games now or something. Like, I don't know if it's if the same hype would be there. But then again, if they abandoned that Switch model and try something entirely different, that could also blow up in their face.
What first party stuff would they even lean into for a future console? Would it still be Mario? I was listening to the Kit and Chris, and they were saying that the last time that they did a new Super Mario game was I think on 3DS, was the Mario Bros. 2 it's been like a decade. And now Super Mario Bros. Wonder is coming out.
It was 2013. It was they did Mario Bros. U and Mario 2 like the same year. So
with the Tears of the Kingdom having come out recently, it can't be like they would, for a full scale Zelda game would have to be a couple of years.
Like, yeah, it'd be more than that. It'd be more than a couple. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time for Nintendo. I'm wondering because like they're doing well, but I'm like, I wonder how long they can hold on to this.
I don't know. Yeah, and I mean, I guess Pokemon Go was revolutionary for them too.
Yeah, I mean, they have less to do with that, right? That's the Pokemon Company and Niantic, I think it's the company that makes the game. So Nintendo just had to collect the money.
That's what they're good at.
Yeah, I still like the Switch, but it's a weird time for Nintendo. I think like this transition, whatever it's going to be.
One of my complaints is that a lot of their legacy titles do get left behind. So I would like to see in their future more of a commemoration of legacy titles. Like, it's criminal to me that the 3DS shop went down and now we can't just buy whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it, like, you and me, we would even buy NES games on a 3DS. So, I think that what I would want is more of a historical commemoration of the libraries, especially because it's so hard to even just get Nintendo games.
You know what's interesting though is the last few years, every time they do bring back a legacy franchise like Metroid, like recently it's been Pikmin, like Animal Crossing, they have performed the best they have ever performed on the current console. I don't know where I'm going with that thought, but that is a thought.
Mm-hmm.
That those games, like I think like Metroid Dread is like one of the best selling game in the Metroid franchise, which is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it is interesting to think about that. Is it like they still have potential to like reintroduce legacy franchises and have them perform well just because they're on the Switch or they're on the Switch 2 or whatever. They'll make it the Switch. The 3D Switch, the new 3D Switch XL pocket color.
What do you need from Nintendo still at this point?
Nothing. It's like Nintendo is. I'm trying to think how to say this. Nintendo's like fast food. It's like I don't need any of this. But every once in a while, they're like, here you go. Here's a new Pikmin. And I'm like, fuck yeah. But it's like they don't really innovate that much anymore. They're just kind of riding the coattails of their previous successes. Like, what's the last? I guess Splatoon. That was their. I guess that was their innovation. I don't know.
I like Pokemon Legends Arceus. I liked Metroid Dread.
Yeah,
I like the Animal
Metroid
Crossing
a lot too.
And I don't even know that I would say any of those are my favorite in the franchises, but I think they were all solid, innovative games. It seems like the historical approach, right? Like Metroid Dread was a callback to like the Metroid game that never came out. Mm-hmm. Star Fox 2, like the fact that they put that on the SNES Mini, I thought that was really interesting. Not to say it was successful, but I think there is an underlying look back at their history for where to go going forward, which I appreciate.
Maybe they'll give us Star Fox Zero 2.
That's just Star Fox 2. It's 02. 0.2. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Star Fox Zero 2 is Star Fox 1. We're back with a sequel to Star Fox Zero, Star Fox 1.
It's all just the same game repackaged.
Yeah, it's the same story.
Every time. Star Fox is dead.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Star Fox and F-Zero, they did not really make this console.
Yeah. I think I think they're terrified of doing Star Fox again. Because they were like they thought that was gonna help them with the like save the Wii U, and that did the opposite, the opposite effect.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about F-Zero at all. They seem oblivious to how popular F-Zero actually is.
Yeah.
But you know you still see it whenever they have the directs. It's still like like Mario. Which I am excited for Mario Wonder. Don't get me wrong. But it's like every time you have the directs and it's like that's announced and this is announced and it's like everybody's still like holy crap Nintendo's making games.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's like yeah it's like yeah they are. I don't know. I see it. I feel a little more cynical. I think at one point I fucking loved the Switch, and I still do play my Switch, and I still like my Switch. But I don't know. It's just like its magic has worn off,
Honeymoon phase
And
is
now
over.
it's yeah, and now it's like I feel like that guy playing PS2 in 2009.
Well, I do want to enlighten from the T cast that we did at that time. Neither of us had the Switch, and we were both kind of in the boat of being
Oh,
hesitant to get
that's
it.
what the heck was coming. Okay. So that was our perspective was the hesitancy.
Like, what do we need in order to make the Switch? That was the kind of the
Did
conversation.
we did we get what we needed?
You want to know what you needed?
Yeah, tell me.
Pikmin 4
Okay, I just got that. I'm currently playing that.
and No More Heroes.
Yeah, damn it. Yep, there it is.
You said if you got
I
both
got
of
it.
those, you would get into the Switch.
Uh,
For me, I said a Shin Megami Tensei game,
you
which I
got
got.
that.
Yeah, and this is a Switch exclusive. Um, I don't remember the other thing I said, but I think I got it. And
Blue
we
Blue
were
Land?
both enticed by Mario Odyssey.
I like that game. It's a good game. I want to return to it sometime.
That's been my sentiment since we played it. I want to return to it sometime, and I just never have.
Yeah. That's interesting. I thought it was right after we got them, but no. I guess right after we got it was to be the button mappers. Maybe I'm thinking of the button mappers episode where we talked about like the Switch. I think we did a Switch episode or something.
We did do one. I think that was 2020.
Maybe that's around the time I'm thinking because I know at one point that was like my favorite console that I
Yeah,
had. Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. So that was making the Switch. This is what is this?
Shaking the Switch?
Faking the Switch.
Baking the Switch.
Faking my love for the Switch.
Unbreaking the Switch.
It's like when you've been married for so long and it's like, there's no fire anymore. You're just like, you have to fake it. That's me in the Switch right now.
You and the Switch are in couples therapy.
We've been in this relationship for so long and just don't feel anything anymore.
Hey, Doc, yeah, it's just not what I thought I was getting into.
But it's got Mario RPG coming. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it. That's cool.
Well, it's
I
been
guess
a
it's
while.
off for the
It's been a while.
Switch
for the
talk,
Switch,
yeah.
yeah. Is there
Speaking of
any
Switch,
juices left for you for Switch?
I'm gonna play Mario Wonder. I wanna play Tears of the Kingdom at some point. I'm not ready for that yet. It's Mario Zelda. I mean, it's not like again. They'd have to like announce something tomorrow. I guess Pikmin 4 was my last big hurrah for me. Like that's what I've been waiting for. I got it. It's super fucking good. I've been playing. I'm like 15 hours right now, and I love it. I'm even like close to done. That game's stupid. That game's way longer than any other Pikmin game. Um, but yeah, this is like my last hurrah on this with the Switch. And it's like, as of right, I mean, they announced like what, like they're doing like a Peach game or something, and like they're porting Luigi's Dark Moon over, which that's interesting. Getting 3DS ports. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed, but still. Um, Like, Pikmin 4. That's my last hurrah. Until I get something else, big news. I'm not like over here like I wonder what the Peach game is gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, a Peach game. That's neat.
I feel like maybe Nintendo, maybe we're just Nintendo tired. I don't know.
Maybe we need another Wii U. Just to get us missing Nintendo again.
Yeah. Where's the Nintendo we used to love back when they did the Switch?
The Nintendo Switch U. You have a screen in the hands and on the TV. I feel like we've done this before.
Yeah. Maybe they should switch things up.
Speaking of switching, you ready to switch over to your topic?
Sure. All right. Well, not only am I ready, but I am too. Why? Because I heart M2.
Oh, I thought you heart Kraid.
Both. Two things can be mutually true.
Okay.
Well, I thought of what segment could I pair well with you, Alex, and we are both fans of the Sega and the Sega games.
No, wait. What is it? Sega?
Yeah. You know that logo behind your head?
Never heard of it.
Carrying case on the floor over there?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Well, needless to say, we both appreciate the Sega games, and one company that we've become very familiar with is M2. But who are M2? What is their history? In this installment, I hope that we can sort of explore that history together, talk about their legacy, their impact, and maybe what we'd like to experience from M2 going forward. So before going forward any further, Alex, what is your experience with M2 and who are they to you?
I like M2. I'm actually gonna look. You sent me a document here, and I'm gonna look and see if I can tell you what my first instance of M2 is. I should have done this earlier, but oh well. It looks like the first M2 game I would have actually played, I didn't know this, is Namco Museum DS.
There you go.
M2, to me, what was the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, who is M2 to you? And what do you know them for?
Oh, M2 to me they're well, for a while now they've been associated with Sega especially, but they are the port guys. They are the people that to me take old school games, bring them over to a new console and give them all the love and respect that they deserve. That's sort of been like their thing for a while now, and it looks like they've done a bunch of projects. Some of these I've played and didn't even know it was M2. But yeah, that's sort of who they are to me. And I think the biggest thing I could think of M2 related was recently is outside of like the Sega Aegis stuff is what they worked on the Mini, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that them? Yeah. It's like the Genesis Mini, which is piece of hardware. I guess you can call it that. But that's sort of who they are to me. And I always associate them with Sega, but I'm interested to see what else they've done outside of Sega and if I've played anything.
They are definitely the Sega guys to me, specifically the 3D Classics guys on the 3DS. I bought most of the Sega 3D Classics and still play them from time to time on my 3DS. And I'd always see that M2 logo pop up and be like, they do arcade perfect conversions of these games and then give you a little extra. These guys know how to port a game. But even before that, they have been associated not just with games and the software ports, but also services and hardwares. These guys developed an emulator for the Wii, for the Sega Genesis, as well as a couple other ones, which we're going to get into some of the timeline in a bit. But their legacy is huge. I put together a list of all the games from the Wikipedia and I numbered it just to see what it was looking like. They're responsible for over 250 video game projects in the past 30 years. It's a baffling legacy. It's really impressive. And as far as video game preservation goes, I respect the hell out of them. So I'm really excited to tap into it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where you say, I am too.
I am too.
Went on their website. Their business outline was the development and planning of console, PC, and portable game software, as well as the development and licensing of libraries and tools for developing game software. M2 CEO Hori Naoki, he's kind of based his premise for the company around fun, a journey to find the fun in making games. There's an interesting interview with him where he talks about what is the importance or value of fun, and how especially nowadays people enjoy kind of creative tools and playing with each other, engaging in that way, like Mario Maker style, and sharing their own stuff. It made me think about some of the recent Sega Ages stuff, and how you can see the leaderboards, and I just thought that was a cool little segment. And he also says that he likes going back and playing Famicom games. I thought that was interesting. Kind of quick burst games, and you got to really have high reflexes. So definitely values his history. Maybe we can take turns here going through the timeline of their history and then just stop at each one. So I'll start with number 1. The first event in M2's history I want to bring to the table is their birth. They were established in August 1991. They began activity in Aoyamadai, Abiko, and Chiba in Japan. Not much to say there, but just important to know where they started. Alex, take us to number 2, please.
Can I just note you have a picture on here of I take it that's the main guy, right? And there's a bunch of different hardware on this desk or something, and I see an Ouya controller.
Oh boy.
That makes me laugh. September 1993. He gathered a bunch of friends who used to play Gauntlet together at arcades and ported it to PC for fun, presented it to Tengen/Atari Games, who sold it for the Mega Drive title after some back and forth. And this is one that I actually played recently. It's Gauntlet 4 for the Genesis. I didn't know it until I looked it up, but that was the first M2 game.
Wow. And it's cool they worked together. It was like a fun friend project. Like, hey, can we port this game? I feel like that was a time and place, breaking into video game coding and then seeing what you could do with it. So it's interesting to see they kind of started out that way, and it's kind of I don't know, homebrew style.
Yeah, you can kind of thank Tengen/Atari Games for the, I guess, birth of M2 in a weird way.
Yeah. The timeline jumps a bit. There's something happens in 98. I didn't think it was that significant. So jumping to October 2005, they developed the Sega Ages 2500 Volume 20 Space Harrier 2, Space Harrier Complete Collection, which was published by Sega. I believe that was a Japan only for the PS2. I could be wrong. They continued to work on this series. I believe that's the Sega Ages series on PS2, receiving much acclaim and solidifying M2's reputation of high-quality retro game ports. I don't have any experience with the PS2 Sega Ages games because they're all Japan only, but whenever I've thought about getting or importing PS2 games, they've come up a couple times.
Have you? I know I have it, but I forget what it's called exactly. Do you have? Did you ever play that Sega Classics collection? Not the Genesis one, but the other one on PS2.
Mm-hmm.
That collection is comprised of some of the Ages releases.
Yeah, and I think even then they were doing their own thing with those games.
Yeah, but not all of those on that collection are M2. I'm not sure which ones were M2 on that collection, but I'm saying that's the only way that those Ages releases were available here was in that little compilation.
I see. Good to know.
Yeah. December 2006, developed and released the Wii Virtual Console Mega Drive / Genesis series. So yeah, they were responsible for that emulator, huh?
Yes.
That's cool.
I don't think I downloaded anything Genesis at the time, but that's
I don't think I did
footnote.
ever. I don't think I did ever on the Wii. I think the most I did was like I did a couple Master System games, but I don't think I ever did Genesis on the Wii.
And the Wii Virtual Console had a bunch of old school stuff too. I don't think it's in here, but I think that they did the Rebirth stuff.
Yeah, for Konami, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Konami. Yeah, I think I did see it on this list. Hold on, let me go back and. Yeah, they did Gradius Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, and Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth, which is the remake of the shitty ass Game Boy game.
That one needed that rebirth, that's for sure. All right, March 2009, they developed and released the Wii Virtual Console Arcade series for Sega's titles. So arcade games this time, as opposed to just console.
So another Sega emulator.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, and November 2009, they developed and released the Wii Virtual Console Master System series, another Sega emulator, which that's the only one that I actually have dabbled with. I think I downloaded Wonder Boy 1 and 3, Dragon's Trap on there. And I mean, they played fine, but that's cool.
In December 2010, developed and released the Neo Geo Station. So that was a PSP emulator.
So that's like not even official, is it? Or was it? Was it like actually used?
I think so. I don't know if it's. I think it might have been discontinued. It's got to be discontinued at this point. But
PSP history is none of my. Maybe it was like a downloadable thing. I have no clue.
Still good to know.
March 2012. This one's relevant to me, big time. Developed and released the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console Game Gear series for Sega's titles. Oh man, was I a happy boy?
And their budget too. Like they're $4.
Oh my god, I bought so many of them. I was so happy when those were coming. Like I had a few Game Boy games downloaded, I think, at that time. But then once they started releasing Game Gear games, and like I could play them on something that wasn't a Game Gear, I was so happy. I was buying them up like crazy.
Yeah, I have a couple. I wish I bought them all, but I don't know. The future, who knows what the future will bring. In December 2012, it was the end of the year. It was the end of the world. Remember that?
Yeah. The Mayan calendar.
Yeah. The Mayans predicted this. They developed and released the Sega 3D Classic series. That's when the world was reborn with the 3D classics.
Did M2 save us from the Mayan calendar?
Maybe.
The 3D classics. What was the first 3D classic, do you know?
I couldn't tell you. It's probably Sonic 1.
Yeah, it's probably. Hold on, let me go. I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably was Sonic 1. Is this list in order?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I could look, but if it's not in order.
Well, you could look and I could just talk, I guess. The 3D classics were huge. I mean, these were... I almost want to call them remakes of... the arcade versions of the games. Sonic 1, Space Harrier, Super Hang-On. You could do overlays where you could, do like an arcade style. Sometimes the cabinet would be moving. You could customize options in there to make it easier, because oftentimes the arcade games were quarter munchers. I know for Hang-On, I've had that problem before, but the 3DS really helps you experience it better. And what I really loved about it was, our 3DSs now are 2DSs, so we don't really experience 3D. But at the time, these games were gorgeous. The sprite scaling, I remember the Outrun, playing that in 3D was gorgeous. 3D Galaxy Force, gorgeous. It was just, I didn't even like the 3D feature on the 3DS, but seeing it firsthand and seeing how M2 just put Nintendo to shame on their own platform with the 3D feature, I was thoroughly impressed by it. So I have a lot of love for 3D classics.
I think. Hold on. I found a list with dates, but they're out of order. but it looks like the first one might have been Super Hang-On. Sonic wasn't far after though.
Do you
I
have the
think Super
date?
Hang-On was March 27th, 2013 was the release date for that one. Sonic was May 15th, 2013. So 2013 is the furthest back. So that's probably just like when they developed it was 2012.
Japan releases might have been earlier.
These are the Japan releases that I have brought up.
Oh,
Yeah, but they're all 2013's the earliest I see, but it's all like at the beginning of the year. So maybe that's like just when they developed whatever the engine they used for it.
I will say that this comes directly from their website,
Hmm.
m2.co.jp, and then translated
Wi-
into English.
Wiki could be wrong, but I don't know. It looks like Super Hang On, but Sonic was close after.
Yeah, maybe M2's wrong. Who knows?
Maybe. I do want to say I didn't play any of those when they were first out, but I did buy that collection they did with with some of them, and then I think I bought Super Hang On separately because I like the game a lot. And man, they upstaged Nintendo. Uh, I only have two of them, but Nintendo did that series of 6 3D classics, and they did like Kirby, Xevious, um, Kid Icarus, Twin Bee, uh, Urban Champion for some reason, and Excite Bike, and the M2 3D classics games for Sega were so much better than the Nintendo offering that they developed in house at Nintendo. Like I have the Kirby one and the Xevious one, and they're fine. But M2 put so much more care into those titles and had so much more options for the displays and stuff.
Right, and it was like you're up. Like, why would I need 3D for an NES game? Like to see what am I seeing in 3D on Kirby's Adventure? And they charged you. I think it was a little more. By the way, I went to the list. It looks like Space Harrier was released in December 26, 2012.
Okay, so then that would have been it then. I didn't see that on there, but
And that was a
there
really
you go.
cool one too, because you could use the stylus to control the dude, and also the 3D was looking great too. You didn't have to do that.
Get
But it
ready.
was a nice touch. And besides which, Space
I didn't play
Harrier
that one,
is
but
freaking hard, and also a lot of the ports tend to be choppy. Like that Genesis version is not great,
oh,
but this 3DS version was seamless. And it's just like it was almost like they were saving these arcade games, which is crazy to me. Galaxy Force 2, from what I understand, was unplayable. I need to try it sometime on the Genesis. I think it's on these compilations, like the PS4 one.
wait, Galaxy Force?
Yeah.
It's on the. Oh wait, never mind. I was talking about the 3DS version's on that 3DS compilation, of course. But
Yeah.
I don't know about the Genesis one though.
Yeah. I don't think so. So those, yeah, I agree
December.
with you though. They
Oh.
just they put Nintendo to shame.
Yeah, and like Nintendo did 6 of them, and they're like Urban Champion. What? And then M2 did a shit ton of them for Sega, and yeah, they're from what I played. I didn't play all of them, but from what I played, they're phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
December 2016. Yeah, here Battle. What is that name?
Garaga, like
Garaga?
Galaga, but Garaga. Yeah.
Garaga? Garaga? Rev 2016 became our first self-published console title, so they started publishing their own games.
They had done a couple Steam and PC games prior to 2016 or prior to December 2016, but this was an interesting one. It was a shooter. Apparently, Battle Galaga was a Saturn game, and then I guess Rev 2016 was their version. It came out on Xbox One and PS4. So I'd like to play that sometime.
Okay.
That'd be cool. 22 December 2016, Sega 3D Fukoku Archives Maniacs, a collection of interviews previously published in Game Watch magazine, was brought out. This is Japanese only, but I was looking online. It's pretty expensive if you want to get it. It's like $50. So I don't know. And even then it's in Japanese, so like you can't read it. But I thought that would be an interesting thing to, a history to delve into.
Yeah, I would like a translation for that. September 5th, 2019, this is something Teddy knows about. The Darius Cosmic Collection was released. Darius Gaiden, one of the titles included in the collection, featured high fidelity emulation of the Taito F3 system arcade board.
Yep, definitely know about these ones. And yeah, Darius Gaiden, that's pretty impressive. And the thing about it is, with the Darius Gaiden remake, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a remake, it's a remaster or something. It's just, you could play 6 versions of that game, of that one game. The arcade game, the original PS1 game, an HD remaster of the game. You can play the version 2 versions of like 2 of them. The options are, it's just like, it's for the enthusiasts. And that, I think that's why like this is a milestone for them, is like that was maybe a pinnacle. So September 19th, 2019, the Sega Mega Drive Mini was released.
Woo! we know about that. We were there for that.
That's true.
And I still use mine. I did mod mine to add a shit ton more games onto it, but the mod is Project Lunar, which is really easy to do, and it lets you actually like customize the home screen and put like box art and stuff for all the games you add. So it still looks like the same home screen with the same music, and it still has the same charm. And I love going back to that thing. That's probably, if I'm playing like Genesis games, that's one of my favorite ways to do it. Mm-hmm. It's on the Mini.
Yeah, it's less distractions. I like the Mini consoles, and I do like that you can customize them however you want, I guess. Project Lunar, etc. But even the selection of games was good. They actually came out with 3 separate versions. One was the America version, another was the Japan version, another was the China version. So I ended up getting that one. Or it's just Asia. It's called Asia version. That one
remember.
Yeah.
Because I got the US one, and you thought you got the Japanese one, because we were like confused.
Mm-hmm. I was like, do I have this game? No.
No, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
This is for Terry. March 19th, 2019, the PC Engine Mini, TurboGrafx Mini, TurboGrafx 16 Mini, which we took part in development of, was released by Konami. Konami Digital.
Konami.
Well, their Konami's life's been pretty tragic, so I guess it could be a Konami.
That's true. But this was not part of the comedy. This is a pretty solid achievement.
That's pretty cool. I don't know anything about TurboGrafx games, really, but, I mean, awesome.
And then lastly, 26 October 2021, M2 developed an execution environment for Sega Genesis, Nintendo Switch Online, Sega Mega Drive, Nintendo Switch Online.
So they did the Switch Online Genesis stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't have my subscription anymore to the whatever the hell's the expansion pack is, but from what I played of the Genesis games, yeah, they were good. I mean, it's a good way to play some Genesis games.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing, well, so the board I think is impressive, the fact that they were able to do that, but I think the issue is that the library is so recycled. So there's a question for me about like licensing at that point. And then even with Mega Drive Mini, because on that same console, you could just buy the Sega Genesis collection. It goes on sale every so often. And even then, like I have it downloaded.
That's the only thing that held me back from every once in a while they add something cool, like, if you don't have a Mini, they add something cool like the Mega Man Wily Wars or like Earthworm Jim or something. But yeah, that's what stopped me from playing a lot of that. It was the fact that Genesis collection was also available on Switch, and I have that. Mm-hmm. But that's licensing between Sega and Nintendo and whatever other companies they have to get. So that's not M2 directly.
Right. Before we kind of just wrap up on some questions, I do want to call attention. We can browse through this list for a moment too, and just talk about any like that stand out to us. But here are the platforms that they've helped develop games for, or even systems. So arcade games, they've had dedicated consoles, the Dreamcast, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Gear, the Mega Drive / Genesis, the Mega Drive Plus / Sega Mark V, mobile, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Switch, which also has the Sega Ages releases. 3DS has the 3D classics. The web browser, Windows, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita, the Wii, WiiWare, Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. So, in just glancing over this, what stands out to you?
I'm seeing some games I didn't know they actually worked on, like one that I actually have on PS3. It's the first thing listed under arcade is Dead Geki Buko Fighting Climax. It's an anime fighter 2D game that I have on PS3. That's I only have it because it's Sega and I got it for free. But it's actually a pretty fun game. I didn't know they actually worked on that, so that's cool. Kind of scrolling through here. Skullgirls is one that I've played a lot of. I didn't know they had anything to do with Skullgirls. That's cool too. A lot of Mega Drive stuff, obviously. Gauntlet 4 was the one I played recently. That I was like, oh, cool. Fossil Fighters? They worked on Fossil Fighters?
Yeah, and what this list means is either they took a development role, or if it's in parentheses, it's a publishing role.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. They did a lot of stuff on Switch I didn't know about beyond the Sega Ages. So
Yeah, I saw their name come up in the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I was like, oh shit, it's M2. That's why
maybe
it's
they
so good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they did they develop that, or did they just like license out like the Genesis stuff maybe?
I'm clicking on the page right now. It just takes you to Castlevania. So
I know the Namco stuff, the Namco collection and the Namco Museum Archives, which are the same thing. The Namco's the Japanese version that you can get different games. Those we reviewed Volume 1 of the archives. So yeah, that I know that one was M2.
Mm-hmm.
Final Bubble Bobble. That name's funny. You you thought the Bubble Bobble was over. No, this is the final.
Wikipedia doesn't do a very good job of telling you on the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, but I do know that their name comes up in the intro scene.
Of course, they looks like a lot of the games, the retro games that are put in the Yakuza games. Like I'm seeing Yakuza 0, Yakuza 6, Lost Judgment. It looks like a lot of those are M2 games too.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
Oh, they did the vintage collection on PS3. I have a few of these. I have a Super Hang-On, and I have the Wonder Boy games. Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Wonder Boy Monster World, and Wonder Boy 4, which is the best way to play Wonder Boy 4 for the longest time. Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
A couple things that do stand out to me. I forgot to mention too. They own the rights to Musha / Aleste. So, you do see like Aleste come up in the limited Game Gear games that comes up, but they did a Musha collection for PS4 and Switch. I forgot about that, so that's one that I would like to try.
That's cool.
I forgot the Game Gear Micro was a thing. We never got it over here, so.
Yeah, and I never felt like importing it because I'm not gonna play it. It's so tiny.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's more of a novelty item really than a console to me.
At this point, yeah.
Man, I really wish they didn't stop. I mean, they did quite a few of them, but I really wish they didn't stop with the Sega Ages on Switch, because that was like my favorite thing for a while. So like, it'd be like it seemed like every few months it was like 2 more games are coming to Switch.
Right. And even in the 3DS era, it felt like that too. Like, oh, what M2 game can I look forward to? Unfortunately, the quality control kind of went down and it started becoming like Columns 2 and Ichidan R, and I was like, okay.
Hell yeah, Columns 2 in Ichidan R.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, on Switch, you got some pretty cool ones. I mean, just the fact that Thunder Force 4 and Herzog's Y got Ages treatment. That's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the legacy of M2 is today? What does it mean to you?
M2 puts a lot of other companies to shame, to me, especially when it comes to preserving retro titles. A lot of times I think to myself whenever I play something that's like kind of shoddily put together that has like an old collection of games and stuff, I'm like, they should let M2 do this. That's usually what I think of. Like M2 wouldn't fuck this up. And that's sort of their history to me. It just like seems like they really care about the titles they work on and bring over, and um, they seem to have a sense of like what 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 makes like retro gaming so magical.
Yeah, these guys are love letters to the industry. Point blank. And I'm so happy like they're a company like if I buy a game by M2, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to support this. So I never regret like a Sega Ages or Sega 3DS purchase. Even like Virtua Racing. I played like an hour of it, but it's good. I respect it, and it helps me relive that era. And I didn't really experience that era, so it's like, it's good for me.
They go above and beyond. I mean, even that Virtua Racing, I believe you can play 16 player or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like you would an arcade, like with cabinets. Like who? What?
Yeah, dude, the Sonic 1 thing, well, they had the spin dash first off, so hell yeah. But second, they had the Mega Play thing where I took the online leaderboards. Like I was like number 9 or something. I don't remember, but like just little things like that go a long way. And it's for like beloved titles. So I'm always happy to see that.
And columns too.
And columns too.
Not all are beloved. Some are columns too.
They are. What would you like to see from M2 going forward?
I don't know. It seems like they're doing a pretty good job. I don't know if I can give them any more direction other than just keep up good work. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff here that like I didn't know they worked on that I've played, and I'm like, damn, that's why that was so good.
I want a Saturn emulator.
Oh, yes, but that's I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could pull it off. I think they could, but I don't know how much of a priority that would be.
The world is ready, M2.
Yes, we want to play Bug. We need to play Bug.
All the Japanese imports we never got. It's time to start localizing.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if they got like a Saturn emulator down, it was nice and crisp, and they instead of bringing over like the Japanese games that everybody wants to play, they start bringing over like the shit that got released here, like fucking Bug and Mist and like that kind of stuff.
Just the most
like
common stuff.
College Slam.
Sonic R.
Oh no.
It's not a bad game. I like Sonic R.
Yeah, Sonic R is weird. It's good. It's weird. Good soundtrack.
Yeah.
M2, we salute you.
Our salutations. Hell yeah. Cool. Those are the segments. This is just general now. Talk about anything.
How's the weather?
It's okay. It's getting cool. How's yours?
It feels weird having like a general conversation over a podcast because we don't do that usually.
Yeah. I guess we just don't create room for it like in like the planning stage, but we do it like with the intros and stuff on the button mappers, so or at the
end.
Yeah,
we bullshit.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But here we're allowed to bullshit.
We bullshit. Yeah. So what episode of the what episode of Revived is this? Or
Four?
was it called Revived? Right?
Yeah,
Back from the Dead.
we are back from the dead. It's four.
Zombie.
I've had on Spencer and Chris and Brian.
So I'm 4.
Yeah.
So whoever comes after me, just know I'm better than you.
I came before. There you go.
Whoever's on 5, I got you.
Well, you were technically number 1 because you were the first Majora T Cast feature. I think that one you were talking about on Making the Switch is the first one I did with a guest. Before that, it was just me in a Christmas hat.
Oh, was it? Was that the first one you did? I know I've done a few of them.
I think it is. Maybe not.
I know we did that. We did that. We did a classic game room one, and we did another one when the button mappers had first started.
You've got to be my first guest ever.
It's me, Turbozy.
The little crossover. When I opened this one, I said I'm here with a very special tea, and you're like, "Did you call me a tea?" Like in the other episode. So you said that we were going to do another Switch episode. So like maybe he's going to get the reference. But
No, I need to go back and listen now because I made it a point not to listen to my past self.
now you can.
Now I can, and so can all of you.
That's true.
Did you call me a T?
I did. Twice now. Yeah. Dude, something
It's
tragic
like
has happened. For some reason, my game reviews playlist is now at 99. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
I don't know. That's crazy. Oh well. I think that, sometimes like I go on like the Button Mappers podcast playlist and it says like a video has been removed, or like another playlist, for example, like videos that have been removed won't be shown here. So I'm like, what got removed?
Huh.
Well, that's sketchy.
Yeah, I haven't removed anything.
I mean, neither. Bizarre.
Yeah.
So you're playing Strange Journey, and
Yeah,
how's that?
I'm still. I started Strange Journey last year on my 3DS, and I played a bit, and then I took a break, and then I recently picked it back up. I'm still on my Strange Journey.
You definitely got a Strange Journey going on with your 3DS, because I remember you used to be like Team Wii U.
Oh, dude, I used to hate handhelds.
Yeah. Maybe it's because you got the new 2DS, though. Maybe that's what did it. And the other 2DS, Yeah, that helped you appreciate it a little more.
No, I don't know. I feel like I've been leaning into handhelds for a while now. Like before that, because like I got this one last year, this new 2DS last year.
Right.
But I feel I don't know what the shift was, but maybe the Switch helped. But there definitely was a shift where I just started to shift into like handhelds. Like I rebought a Game Boy Advance. I got back into playing like obscure shit that Spencer loves me to talk about, like Genesis and Neo Geo Pocket stuff. And that's like I got back into like playing handheld games again. And I was out of that for the longest time. For the longest time, it was like the thought of like playing a handheld game over a console game. I was like, ew, like I want to do that. But yeah, I'm back into handhelds for some reason. And it's been that way for I don't even know, maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe 3, maybe I don't know, so something like that.
Do you have any like goals or gaming stuff that you want to do or accomplish?
I mean, most of mine are tied to the numbers.
Yeah, that's hard.
I did just get into Sega Master System. I picked up one of those bad boys recently for my birthday, so that's something that I've been getting into, and also I've been playing a lot of PC stuff. So, I have the gaming laptop. My parents, they asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told them a Steam Deck, and now I have a Steam Deck waiting for me. It's already here, but I don't get I don't get it till Christmas. So whenever that rolls around, I'll be able to play all my Steam games on a handheld. Which again, we're back to the handheld.
You know, it's funny because we were just talking about the Switch and like, you know, what are like what is our gaming like now? And I got a special thing coming in, but I'm gonna start playing NES games. So I've never owned an NES, and it's gonna be an interesting experience for me. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you know I've been wanting to do like Project 64, just N64 reviews for a while. So that's been interesting to me. You know, even though we've done like Pokemon and Pokewaries, like I'm kind of just digging like just playing them and going back. Even just doing like the shorts content with the Pokemon Snap, like doing the gallery, whatever. Like I was thinking like, what if I just make a shorts of like my Elite Four team or something? You know, people seem to like it, and you know, I wouldn't have thought of doing shorts before, but I think it's a fun, easy video type, like your game of the day thing. That's pretty cool. I froze Alex.
Something, please. What? Oh, did I lose you?
You did. I thought I bored you.
There I am. There I am. It
Welcome back.
froze for a second. Did you get something that plays NES games or what?
I guess I'll give the reveal. It was a birthday gift, so I got it. My NES should be in a box outside today.
Oh,
I'll tell you a little more after. I don't want to divulge too
you guys
much.
start getting those bulky cartridges.
Yeah, I got one when I went to Boston. I picked up Star Soldier for a couple bucks.
Cool. I love collecting NES games. That's one of the retro consoles that I like to buy stuff for because they're just so cool looking. Like the old flat ass cartridges and like the art, like the big artwork on them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're so neat now
And
to buy those. And
library representation wise, like you can't really play that many on the Switch. You play some, but it's like not really.
plus, I don't know what you got or like what controller you'll have, but if you get like an actual NES controller, like you know me, I don't have an NES. I have the Retron 5, but even then, like I have like over here, I have a This actually isn't a Nintendo one, but this is hold on, who made this? Hudson Soft made this, but I do have a Hudson Soft NES controller, like right here, that has it has hook-ins for the microphone for Famicom games because you know some Famicom games use the microphone. But I have that, and then my Retron's plugged up over here, and the last thing I was playing in it was Tetris.
Oh, cool.
Tetris right there. But yeah, like actually having like an NES controller and playing the cartridges, it's like it just has a different feel than like playing it on like a Switch or something.
Well, that's also something we didn't talk about, but like if you ask me like either for 3DS, for Switch, for Xbox, what do I spend my most time doing? It's browsing the shop. You can't do that in a old console, which I think is like why I'm kind of leaning back towards that now. Well, okay, so 3DS now is perfect because I'm not going to waste my time anymore. I'm just going to play the games I have. So I've been enjoying my 3DS more than ever, actually, since the eShop went down.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to really appreciate that when playing NES games.
That's a huge appeal to retro consoles. Yeah, it's just like no distractions. It's like I have 6 Master System games, and that is that. It's like, sure, I could like stop and scroll eBay or something, you know, but like that is that. It's like,
yeah,
I'm going to play fucking Alex Kidd, and I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, it's simpler times. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a couple of classic gamers.
Yeah, you know, so we're spoiled as gamers now. You know, now I can. I was thinking about that the other day. Is like now I could literally go on my Xbox or my laptop or something and be like, you know, I really want to play you know, this brand new game, and then I can download it in like an hour. You know, then I'm good to go. You know, it's crazy to me. You know. It's like if you would have told me that whenever I was a kid, I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like I have to ask my mom to take me to Funko Land so I can buy an N64 game.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is too, it's actually easy to like just collect. Like I could get a game per week for like either on the shop or like a physical cartridge. I bought two N64 cartridges recently. Also, I'm getting into buying Nintendo Power single issues. It's been fun.
You're going for it. Where'd you start? What was your first issue?
Well, I've had one since I was a child. It was like a Harry Potter one. And maybe there are more in my parents' house, but I don't know.
Okay.
So that's the only one I've had and have read and reread. So now I just go with whatever's cheapest online.
So what, like, curious about that. What, like, era is the cheapest?
The Wii.
Wii era? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's the tail end, so they're the most recent. Wii is not as popular.
When did they stop?
I want to say it was like 2012-ish, but I don't know for sure. Like, I just know that Nintendo...
right as the Wii U, they dodged it. They were like, nope, we're out.
Let someone else deal with that. I know that Nintendo Force picked up almost right where they left off.
Okay. That's cool. I never got Nintendo Power. I used to, which I got rid of them years ago, but I used to have a huge collection of fucking everyone's favorite magazine, Game Informer.
Yeah.
I collected Game Informer for the longest time. And it got to the point to where I was moving one time, and I had like a whole dresser drawer that I opened up, and it was just filled to the brim with issues of Game Informer. And I was like, why did I keep all these? So I ended up getting rid of those. But, I don't think Game Informer is going to be looked back on as fondly as, like, Nintendo Power is.
No way.
Maybe, like, I used to get PlayStation Magazine as a kid, too. Maybe those might be a little more collectible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have those anymore either. But...
Well, Game Informer, they were savage, but they'd also be shills. It was a two-way street. I think you're gonna get that with any like game magazine, because Nintendo Power is gonna review the games pretty highly. Like I was reading last night, they gave Super Paper Mario a 9.5. I'm like, this game is now lambasted. So like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Especially because like compared to the Paper Mario 64 or the Thousand Year Door. It's like, how is this a 9.5? Knowing that,
yeah, it's like a 6 at best,
right? And you have Nintendo Power, the Nintendo magazine. It's like, do they have a choice? I don't know. And if they do, it's after the fact.
Well, yeah, Game Informer. I used to not even look at the reviews because most of them were bullshit most of the time, and I used to read it for the interviews and the games that were coming up just to see like what was coming out, and stuff. So they have like a release schedule, and I'd be like, show like this game's in development, or like this game's coming out next year.
But that pre-release stuff is just as biased because they can't talk bad about it. They have to like build the hype, otherwise they wouldn't have like the segment on it. So either way, it's hard to read between the lines sometimes. And again, I don't mind. Like I know what I'm signing up for. I just like I think you have to have you have to read the layers to see what's really going on.
Oh yeah. Well, it's Game Informer. I feel like with them, I noticed it would be like like you said, it would be like the hype is like, oh man. A great example was Platinum Games game Anarchy Reigns, which went through some development issues, but that was like the Mad World sequel thing, and they were like I remember reading the pre-release stuff for it and being like, oh, this is going to be a hype multiplayer battle brawler game online, and blah, blah. And then when it came out, it was like a 4 or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, just
which, I mean, I like that.
They did that for Dead Island 2. They did that for Spencer's game.
Oh, okay.
They did the same kind of pre-hype stuff, and then when it came out,
this is going to be the game of the year, and it was
the development hell or whatever in the next issue. So it's like, I don't know, it's a cover or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I still like reading it, so I'm conflicted.
Yeah, I still like reading that stuff too. It's just you have to go into it with a bit of cynicism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Like you have to know like a lot of the. I mean, even like gaming website, like a lot of those gaming websites were just paid. I think it was GameSpot that had the guy that used to work for GameSpot. I forgot his name. Bigger guy. I would know his name of his like face if I saw it, but I think it was like I forgot what his name was. But he like I think he walked away because he couldn't give a game like a bad review because they were paid. You know, they're being paid off. Like he
Damn.
wasn't allowed to actually review the game. You know,
Dude, that's nuts. Yeah. It
the
makes me
publisher was
wonder.
saying, "Here's a bag of cash." You know.
It's like, I don't know. I think the only sustainable way to do it is independently. Like, if you want to make a career, like, honestly reviewing games, I don't think you can be affiliated with a corporation.
No, and even then, it's like even like if you're doing like trying to make a career out of like solo YouTube reviews and stuff, you still have to like bend to some of that if you want to make money. You know, if you want to be like, before I review Pac-Man, I have to talk about Raid Shadow Legends. You know, it's like
Yeah, some of that. But the Raid Shadow Legends won't influence your Pac-Man review, I guess is the difference.
no, but you still have to shill out in some form.
Yeah. Well, I think even just running a YouTube channel and trying to get views and videos and subscribers, you do have to play the field a little bit. Like you have to see what people look up and what they like. Like I mean, and you know, I don't lean into it 100%, but I look at my terms. Like what do people look up? And it's like Nintendo 64. You know, and I'm like, okay, so should I do N64 reviews? Yes, but why am I doing it? Am I doing it for them, or am I doing it for me, or am I doing it for both? You know, so it's really complicated sometimes because I don't want to make content pointlessly. I don't want to make content and it's just like nobody's like, okay, I get views or nobody comments and stuff. Like no, I do want this to be social. I do want there to be value for you and for me. So like, I think there's like a happy middle ground.
Yeah, I get that. If I wanted to just pull in people, I would only do anime booby games.
Yeah. And I would be doing
Because
technology.
that's what's yeah, because that's what's performed best on my channel. Is that like you look up that stuff and it's like Samurai Kagura, Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter, like that shit. Like that's what performs well on my channel. And it's like, oh, cool. Like I'm sure I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I'm sure you know I like covering that stuff. But like that's not you know like nobody watches like nobody's looking up and watching my Atari stuff.
No. Yeah, I get that. And I don't want to be review Tech 2 SA. You know, I just want to
Oh, no.
review video games. So, you know, I want to play what I want to play. You know, some days I want to do Castlevania, some days I want to do Zelda, you know, and I want to be able to stream. So, you know, it's my way or the highway, Fred Durst style.
So, who knows? Maybe I'll just switch over to doing anime booby games.
Every once in a while, you know. Well,
Exclusively anime booby games.
oh, yeah. There's a market.
Yeah, it's there's a market for it. Man,
Oh yeah.
what a day.
There's a long
Peek behind the
recording day. Yeah.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain. It is 6:45 and we started recording with the button mappers at like 12 today.
Yeah. Motor Month has begun, and it's a road trip. We'll put it that way.
Now, if I was only doing anime booby games, it'd be Motor Boat Month.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, there's a market for it, so
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily ruling it out. I have a female on my shirt.
I got Donkey Kong.
They're a match.
Hey, Pauline's there. Pauline's there.
Yeah, you do. We're representing all you ladies out there. We're
He's got
on our
Pauline
shirt.
in his monkey arms.
I have Samus unsheathed.
Donkey.
Samus.
Hold me in your big donkey arms.
Yeah, this is the crossover we didn't know we needed. Metroid, Donkey Kong.
Metroid gets stolen by Donkey Kong.
Donkey
That's her
Kong
name is
winds up
Metroid.
on a distant planet, and then he finds the space visor.
But this is like old, like this is arcade Donkey Kong, so it's like not even the current one. It's like cranky whenever he was, not DK. So it's like do 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 do.
He's old by now, so yeah,
He'd be extra cranky that day.
very. All right, well, this has been a pleasure. Definitely be having you back.
Yeah.
And of course, viewers at home, you can find Alex on his channel, Turbo Zone. Go check him out if you haven't already. He's always
Working out-
plugged, but
I'm working on a review of Spark 3.
Woo.
Spark the Electric Gesture.
That game reminds me of something.
A good game.
Good game. Yeah.
Yeah, a good game.
And of course, we do the button mappers, where you can find me, Alex, and Spencer. Map out games. Yeah. We map out games. We map out games.
Spencer's the Sega guy.
Yeah. You'll find that out on a future episode. He loves the Sega. He said it himself.
Loves Sega and Sega hardware.
He appreciates the Sega content, which is why
Spencer, if you're still listening, Spencer, drop your favorite Sega console in the comments below.
And keep your pants on while you're at it.
Keep slacks on.
That's
just
right.
like Zaxxon.
He's a Zaxxon fan. Did you know?
Yeah, I saw he was defending Zaxxon against Fantasy Zone. I bet he put 30 hours into Zaxxon.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a defense, but he was there.
Yeah. Spencer, you gotta do better than that, buddy.
Yeah, we need an essay. We need a Terry-style essay from you, Spencer. Come to the defense of Zaxxon.
Zaxxon is actually a very important game.
It was my whole childhood.
It's way better than Fantasy Zone.
What is Opa Opa? You stupid.
Opa Opa and Oopa Oopa.
Older brother, I hate my brother.
Bigger older brother.
Yeah. My much older brother.
Very old, bro.
The classic moment.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Indeed. Stay tuned. More Majora T Cast coming soon. And in the meantime, I'll meet you in the zone.
I thought you were going to say the future.
Yeah, the future. Oh, by the way, the final word goes to you, Alex.
I can say a final word. Zucchini. Put up a zucchini. Thank you.